When did Cliff and Ivy start? And everybody knows that Cliff and Ivy are Alaska's duo, the only goth band in Alaska. Tell us how you guys formed.
We started by playing as a duo at a party here in Anchorage, Alaska. There was an artist group. Before that, we were doing a lot of like theater stuff as a duo with hand-built instruments and experimental sounds and things like that. And we just tried to take it to the next level and did music, music together as a duo. We kind of played as a duo a little bit before that under different names. Going all the way back to when they had the North by Northwest festival here. But this is about 2000, not here, but in Portland. But we did go to that. But around 2011, we started working as a duo. And it was just a natural progression out of all the other music that we've done together.
So I have a fan question. Were either of you guys ever in any other bands? And if so, what kind of bands? What were the names of the bands and what years were they?
We sure were. We met in 1984 and we started a hardcore band, and Ivy was the singer and I played guitar, and it was called The Gout. And that was our very first show was Halloween night, 1984 in Rahway, New Jersey. And we were in the Jersey hardcore punk band, and we opened up for Adrenaline OD and Canada's Stretch Marks. They were like a great band. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we had The Gout, and we started a band called Warm Love in the 80s, and we had the Dolphin Room, and that lasted about 3 years, and then we had Lesser Kudu, and that lasted about 2 or 3 years, and then we moved to California and lived in Oakland for 3 years. We had a group called Turon Soul, which was Ivy and myself. And then we moved to Alaska in 93, and we started a group called... I missed out on Moby Dick. We had a band called Moby Dick in the mid-'80s, mm-hmm. between Dolphin Room and Lesser Kudu. So the 90s, we moved up to Alaska, and we started a group called Parallax One. And
it's like an industrial.
Yeah, it was like an industrial group, industrial and goth and metal and punk and all that stuff, just an experimental, just all mixed together. And
I played drums at that point.
Yeah, you were a drummer for like 20 years.
Yeah, drums. Mm-hmm.
And I played guitar and bass and sang and played synthesizers, and we just like wrote all of our own material, and we worked with various people. We had all kinds of different lineups, and yeah, it was really good. And then we took a break on that, and we did that for 10 years. So Parallax was from like 94 to like 2004.
Mm-hmm. And then we toured with Parallax too.
We did a little bit of touring, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we made like a lot of self-recordings. We did a lot of our own recordings on our own label, and we also were on some labels, Martin Atkins Invisible Records, mm-hmm. and Underground Incorporated, and we were on like did remixes and mm-hmm. Home recordings and all kinds of weird stuff, and
all before the internet.
Yeah, all pre
mm-hmm.
social media. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm thinking what. So yeah, so Cliff and Ivy started up. We took a break for about 5 years, and then we started up again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is what's up.
Yeah, and just as far as being a duo, really the constant has been just the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the main things. It's always Cliff and Ivy.
So what is it like with your video production when you guys are making music videos? Me and my boyfriend went to Alaska, and we were not used to that weather. It was super cold. And I see some of your videos in the snow. You guys freezing your butts off?
Yeah, our music videos are, since we're in Alaska, we try to take advantage of all the the outdoors, and the whole, major nature thing. They are done outside. Usually this is how it goes when we do music video, because it's the two of us. We basically grab a backpack and put some costumes in it, and we drive out to wherever we're going to go, like a glacier or a forest or a lake or something like that. And then we go for it. We just go for a hike, and change the costumes and take video of each other and do the different things that we do. Whether it's breathing fire or dumping stuff on our head or whatever. It's always just the two of us. It's hard to get a video where there's the two of us in the same shot because it's just the two of us here doing that. So we really enjoy our videos. And yes, we have done video at below zero. We figured out what works and what doesn't work as far as a camera goes in freezing weather. We've had external, a video camera, an actual video camera, and a phone. So we've ended up exhausting.
No budget. No
budget. We have nothing.
It's a DIY budget.
It's very DIY. We have like a sewing machine and paint and cardboard. And
it's like the Lower East Side, man.
We're trying to tell a story up here in the north, and we have we go out and do these videos, but we've had frozen camera and then had to finish the video on the cell phone because of course you keep it in your pocket, so it's a little bit warmer than the camera that you carry in a bag. So
it drains your batteries quick too when you're outside when it's cold like that.
You have to plan it out. So we've been anywhere. We've gone to the graveyard. We've gone into tunnels and like had fire torches, swords on fire. We've breathed fire, and just glaciers and things like that. So we definitely freeze. We in our video for reincarnation, we actually have all the seasons in the video. So there's like some summer
and Paul Rossler and Gitane Demone.
Yes, we have our
and Rikk Agnew
collaborators from the
who were actually
LA area.
Played on the songs. Yeah.
They did, and they came up to Alaska.
And they were in the video. Skyly Vague and Deb Venom, all those folks were in the video.
They're good friends from Los Angeles, who we dearly love and enjoy working with.
Here's the dreaded question: if you guys could put your band in a music genre, what genre would it be? Because when I listen to music, I think of like so many different genres. Each song is so different and unique.
Well, we call ourselves Alaska's only goth band or Alaska's goth duo, but we have a ton of different influences. Like we said before, we love punk. We're into the hardcore punk thing. We love dark punk. We like all kinds of weird rock music and experimental music, electronic music, dance music, all kinds of different music. As long as if it has a dark theme, we'll pretty much enjoy it. I'm not sure what our main influences are. A couple of bands that I think have influenced me and I've enjoyed very much over the years is, of course, Killing Joke. Killing Joke is a big influence. Susie and the Banshees, a huge influence. I like The Damned. I like bands like The Damned because they have lots of different genres within. Like they're just not afraid to rip out any kind of song. Same thing for The Clash. I like The Clash because they're very diverse. They can borrow. And I think I just like music, original music in general that borrows, and you can take a stand. You get encouraged to take a stand, make a genre, but we like to mix it up. It's just we're very much kind of like the old school. Take the ingredients and make something wonderful that it's not expected. Not so much formula. I like the concept of saying that we're Alaska's only goth band. I feel like the gothic genre is also very wide because you can have, gothic metal, you could have punk, you could have electronic, industrial, you can have cabaret music, you could have dark folk music. So it's a more of an inclusive genre to be in. So, I don't know. I'm not so worried about calling us that. Like everything else we do, we just try to see what we can get away with and what catches your eye. It's very much an art experiment. Life for us is an art experiment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We definitely live it. And we just like to see what we can get away with and what catches people's eye. So
I mean, we're DJs, and we have we DJ, and we have very eclectic tastes about things that we like to listen to, or just when you get a song and you want to it's like a birth of an idea. You get this idea,
music.
And you just want to run with it. So I mean, you wouldn't really stick to certain, it doesn't have to be a certain genre.
And sometimes we'll get an idea for a hook that comes from a really weird pop song.
We're songwriters. We're just songwriters. We like to write songs and get them out there, and we don't really categorize our stuff in a certain kind of collection. These are just thoughts that we get out there and craft these little projects. I mean, we get to work with Rikk and Gitane, and Paul Rossler's producing our last 3 records. Our current record we're working on is a punk cover record. We just worked on that in Los Angeles with Paul Rossler's producing.
We did original singles too for a whole nother album, so 2 albums.
Right. There's a couple of new songs in the works that we're working on right now at Kitten Road Bot Studios in Los Angeles with Paul Rossler, and Rikk Agnew played on it, and Skyly Vague sang a really great duet with Ivy, which I don't know if we want to talk about just yet, but it's great. It's and awesome. Then also our old drummer pal from Alaska, PJ Franco, is played drums on it, and it's really great. So
it's gonna be awesome.
Looking forward to getting that out there. And we don't have a release date yet. We don't have an album title yet either, but it's brand new. Brand new stuff. So
as of last week.
Yeah.
Tell us all about that artwork on your shirts and CDs and your merch and stuff. It's really awesome.
Okay, artwork on our CDs and shirts is all done by me. Yeah, done by me.
I chirp in every once in a while with a little nice idea, but it all comes from Ivy. She's really the brains behind all the artwork that we do. She has a BA in fine art, which I met her she was going to school.
I did go to art school.
She's a really good artist. She's always been a really good artist since she was born. She just has that gift. It's one of her natural gifts. And when I saw her artwork when I was when we first met, I fell in love with her because she was so talented. And I still think she's a super talented artist, visual artist as well as a great painter and drafts person and all that. So
they're just black and white drawings that I'll just sit. I like to make a drawing for pretty much everything, like make a show flyer, make a drawing, and cover of a cover photo type drawing thing. I just think it's different. People don't get to see a whole lot of that hand-drawn stuff. Again, it's all symbolic. Some of the images are from dreams. A lot of them are based on the wolf and the raven mask. Trying to get something that looks like a logo but also looks like art and keep it simple.
I would like to really develop that though. I mean, I really want to see you develop that though. The further along we get with this project, it's I would love to have more of your art somehow. We could do it, do some art shows or something. That would be great. Yeah,
we're kind of multimedia like that. We do have Alaskan Gothic, which is items that are not band merch, but they do have my artwork on them. You can find it on our band page, cliffandivy.com. It's t-shirts, and you can order anything off of the website with artwork that.
I would love for us to just do a string of art shows across Europe and just play shows every night at the art shows, make it a big party every night. DJ.
We could do gallery opening.
Do some sets of different artists or performance art or whatever, and then have gallery opening. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Who writes the music for Cliff and Ivy and the songs?
It's definitely a collaboration. We've talked about our Los Angeles collaborators and inspirers. Who writes the music and songs? Sometimes I'll have an idea or a riff. I use keyboards to start out with usually. We really work together. We'll just sit down and kind of really tough it out and just go through that, that finishedness of it. We'll come up with a riff. We'll say, hey, I'm hearing this with it. oh, that sounds like this. Oh, there's this hook I really wanted to use. It's truly collaborative, I think. Sometimes, I mean, we have had albums where, like, I've done a whole song and you've done a whole song, but it's always got something in there
over
that we both
the last few albums. I've really come, you know, I want to say, like, I've added a lot. I've come up with a lot of the material, but we've collaborated a lot with Rikk and Gitane and Paul Rossler and Deb Venom and Sky Lee on our last 3 records. So, you know, those guys have been on a whole bunch, and also Brian Troyce, he played drums on the East Coast. He's our friend,
one of our friends
from New Jersey. Yeah, one of our old friends, who's a great drummer on the East Coast, Brian Troyce, and he played on a bunch of great songs on CXI 111, and we had Spirit Room, our current record, Spirit Room. So
yeah, I write the lyrics for our words. Of course, our lyrics, words. I use, for our words, I use a kind of an experimental process where I have synesthesia, where synesthesia is where your senses are mixed up. And so mine is involved with words and colors and the feeling of words, the printed word. I kind of get obsessed with the printed word, but as a work of art, like words as art, art as words, and a lot of poetry. I do a lot of poetry stuff, but for songs, I use a big dictionary. It's like about 8 inches tall, and I open up the dictionary and I put my hands on the dictionary and I just feel colors through my fingers, and I choose the words in that way. And then I write them all on a page, and then I match the colors of the words to make sentences. And sometimes they make sense and sometimes they don't, but it's always interesting. And so, you know, to make sentences, I add and words like that, like not, you know, I mean, you just get your main words that way, so that it gets your ideas going, so that you can tell a story that is really a story of colors. But it also tends to make a narrative. And so some of the narratives that it makes seem kind of doom laden, you know, like futuristic, prophetic, you know, whatever you want to call it. A lot of folks have identified it as or listener or reader of it has identified it as like pagan influenced, which all is appropriate for me because I love all that stuff. But that's basically all of our lyrics go through that process. And we also do some, in our collaboration, we do, which is different for bands, on the spot jam collaborations, which turn into a finished product, like making music as fast as you can. Not literally fast music, but just no preparation, no, like, you know, belaboring the structure of things, and just making this jam. It's kind of like goth jazz. And so the lyrics help with that too, because I'll just bring a collection of words to the jam, and then I'll sing them just as the colors pop out, as they match in my mind with the music. And it just makes a really interesting, completely, you know, different world that you kind of go into, this world of color and music kind of just coming at you. You're just going through it like that. And so that has been one of the great things of working with our you know, collaborators and working together too. We've done jams on stage where we just set up a beat and we jam, and it does affect people. They just kind of get drawn into it, like, what did you say? You know, we do art in our performance too, and bring in our horror props, like our dolls and our masks that have to do with the shadows of Alaskan animals. And that's what they are, the raven and the wolf. And they represent myself and Cliff. And so we bring them to our shows and give them out to the audience. And just trying to reach people with different things, different kind of like primal symbols, so that make them think, bring them into something, bring them into an imaginary world. So it all kind of goes together.
Just a button right there.
Which one?
That one turns it off.
So I have another fan question. And do you guys have any new albums coming out? I know you guys are always making music, but that was a fan question.
We have our current album is Spirit Room, and that is on Bandcamp, and it's got collaboration with Rikk Agnew and Paul Rossler and Gitane Demone and Skyly Vague and Deb Venom.
And it's a self-release. It's on our own label, House of Extreme Darkness.
On House of Extreme Darkness.
Yeah.
cliffandivy.bandcamp.com, and it's great because it's been it's a mixture of songs that we went to the studio with written and songs that were collaborations.
And then the guys added to it as well.
Yeah, right in the studio there, collaborations. So and then we have some new work coming out, so we're excited about our new
And then we were talking about Spirit Room though, and then the second half of the Spirit Room album, and as well as CXI 111, there was a lot of collaboration with in the studio. Like we just jammed, we did a lot of jamming, and then a lot of that was really great. So we ended up using it on the album. So you got some freestyling, Rikk Agnew, Paul Rossler, Gitane Demone freestyling in the studio was great.
Yeah,
and it was a pleasure to do that, to be able to jam out with those folks.
Yeah,
always
a total
great.
honor. And we
just came back from LA.
Yeah,
we did 4 days in the studio, then 4 days on tour. We did Hollywood, Las Vegas, Joshua Tree, and Orange County, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
4 days in the Kit and Robot studio with Paul Rossler, Rikk Agnew, Skyly Vague, PJ Franco is our old
friend,
Alaska drummer. Yeah, just killing it.
PJ lives in LA right now, but he used to live in Alaska, so he was in our band for a little bit here in Alaska too. So he's a good old friend. But we had a great time, and we ended up recording. How many songs did we record?
We recorded 8 songs for our new album, and then 2 brand new songs that are not going to be part of this album, but our next
album after this new album. So yeah.
So it's a cover album. So we're doing all punk rock covers.
Yeah, we're doing punk rock covers.
The songs and the album title and everything is to be announced, but definitely stay tuned, and we're gonna you'll be coming out in the next couple months.
Yeah, we're excited about that. Punk rock covers with a twist. So I mean, we're from the time when punk rock and goth music was together. The scenes were together, so we felt that it would be really fun to try a covers album and do some favorite songs. So
we were in the studio with Paul Rossler.
Yeah.
What bands was Paul Rossler playing? And Rikk Agnew. What bands did Rikk Agnew play with?
Might have some.
Might be a little bit of covers there
from
those, hint, wink, wink.
From that band.
Say no more.
And it was
Just
fun.
Looking out for cliffandivy.com. House of Extreme Darkness label.
Absolutely. And we're excited about the original tunes that we did for the one coming up after that too. Yeah. So we'll come back and tour, and we always want to go around and tour and share and things like that.
I have a fan question, but this fan question is from me. Ivy, where do you get your style from? What inspires your style?
Oh man, my style is a mixture of classic witches, the Reverend Helen Gaius Mohayim, I think that's her name, from Dune. The one with the voice. And the Tragedy Mask. That's my style. Of course, I love everybody that everybody loves, like Susie Sue, and she's my goddess. But yes, those are my style icons, I think. Yep. That would be it.
Do you guys have any superstitions, or do you have a motto for your band?
Do we have any superstitions or a band motto? Oh, man. Superstitions are kind of like, we believe in good luck. I don't know if it's superstitious, but we try to avoid doing things during Mercury retrograde because that always messes up electronics and communications and things like that.
Maybe. You never know.
Yeah, Mercury retrograde. We have released we always have kind of a magical element to the dates that we release things on or thereabouts. So we tend to look up, symbolism of dates and things like that. And what else? Our motto is the show must go on. And perhaps hate, then imitate. Because that sometimes happens.
Any words you'd like to leave with us?
And final parting words. I would say, be true to yourself. Find your people. Never give up. And enjoy your life. Enjoy music because it brings you everything. Anything to add?
I say just believe your own dreams,
Absolutely.
Yeah, live your dreams instead of waiting for the shit to happen. You make it happen. Live your life. Get out there and live your life. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Just do what you want to do.
All right. Good words. All right. Thank you, Vampire Freaks, and thank you, Morticia. Bye for now.